Hello and welcome to the English Eve podcast, where English meets real life. I'm Sophia, and today I have a little question for you. When was the last time you really paid attention to your daily routine? You know, those little things you do every single day. Brushing your teeth, making breakfast, walking to the bus stop. We often think they're boring, but what if I told you they are actually a goldmine for learning English? Yeah, seriously. The coffee you make in the morning, the moment you check your phone, the way you greet your neighbor, each one of those can be turned into an English practice moment. And here's the thing. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand. That's from Napoleon Hill, and I think it's perfect for today's topic. Joining me today is Daniel, who has turned his own daily routine into a personal English class. And trust me, his story will make you rethink how you spend your mornings.
Hi, Sophia. Thanks for having me here. You know, if you told me 5 years ago that I'd be speaking English confidently in London, I'd probably laugh. Back in Spain, I only learned English from textbooks. I could pass exams, but when I moved here, it was like, whoa, a completely different language. People spoke fast, used expressions I'd never seen before, and honestly, I felt lost. But then I started to realize something. Every single day I had a chance to practice, without even opening a book. When I brushed my teeth, I could say in my mind, I'm brushing my teeth. When I made coffee, I'm making coffee. When I walked to the bus stop, I described what I saw. The bus is coming. It's raining today. That woman is wearing a red coat. It sounds simple, but the effect was huge. My brain started to connect English to my real life, not just to the pages of a book.
I can see your point, but don't you think some people might find that too simple? Like, maybe they'll say, how can saying what I'm doing really help me?
Yeah, I get that. At first, I also thought, this is too basic. But here's what happened. When I kept doing it, I stopped translating in my head. I started to think directly in English. And when I had real conversations, I didn't have to search for words. They were already there because I practiced them in my routine.
So you're saying it's not just about vocabulary, it's about building a habit.
Exactly. It's like going to the gym. You don't see muscles after one workout, but if you keep going, you get stronger. My English gym was my morning routine, my commute, even washing the dishes.
That actually makes sense. I remember once I was making pancakes and I just started talking to myself like, okay, now I'm cracking the eggs. Oh no, I dropped the shell in the bowl. It was kind of fun and I didn't even realize I was practicing English.
See? And it's not just about describing actions. You can add feelings too. Like, I'm tired this morning, or this coffee smells amazing. That way, you also practice adjectives and expressions.
Okay, but what about people who are shy? Not everyone wants to talk out loud to themselves.
Well, you don't have to speak out loud if it feels awkward. You can write it down instead, like a tiny diary. I woke up late. I'm drinking tea. It's cold outside. Just 3 to 5 sentences a day. Or you can do the mirror talk. Talk to yourself in the mirror for 1 minute. No one else has to hear it.
I like that. It feels practical and personal. And honestly, it's more motivating than memorizing random words from a list.
Exactly. I think the magic is in connecting English to your real life. Because when you do that, English stops being a school subject and becomes a part of you.
Wow, I think that's the key. Learning English from your life, not just for your life. Okay, so for everyone listening, think about your routine tomorrow morning. From the moment you wake up, try to describe what you're doing in English. And if you forget, don't stress. Just pick one activity and start from there.
Yes. And remember, like Maya Angelou said, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep moving forward.
So, Daniel, we just talked about how your daily routine became this mini English classroom for you. But I feel like there's something deeper here. You didn't just use your routine, you kind of rewrote it, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You know, most people think about learning English as adding something extra to their lives, like going to a class, opening a book, or studying an app. And sure, those things help, but for me, it was about blending English into what was already there.
So instead of separating learning time and living time, you combined them?
Exactly. It's like, imagine you have two roads. One is my life, and one is learning English. Most people keep them separate. I decided to make them one road, and suddenly it didn't feel like homework anymore.
I like that image, but I can also hear some listeners thinking, well, that's easy for you. You lived in London. What would you say to someone who doesn't live in an English-speaking country?
Honestly, I'd say it might actually be easier in some ways. Because when you're surrounded by your own language, you have to be more creative. You choose to create English moments. You're in control. And that's powerful.
So it's like building a secret garden. Your friends or family might not even know you're doing it, but you're planting little seeds of English everywhere.
Yes, and the seeds grow faster than you expect. I remember one time I was making a sandwich and I caught myself thinking, I'm spreading butter on the bread. And then I realized I didn't translate that from Spanish. It just came out in English. That's when I knew something had changed.
You know what's interesting? That's not a huge dramatic moment. You didn't win a competition or give a big speech. It's just making a sandwich.
Right, but those small moments are where the magic happens. As John Wooden said, it's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. People think language learning is about big events, but it's really about hundreds of tiny victories.
Okay, but let me challenge you a bit. Isn't there a risk of getting too comfortable? Like, if you only talk about your own routine, you might not learn enough new vocabulary.
Good question. That's why I like to play what I call the switch game. I take one part of my routine and change the story. For example, instead of I walk to the bus stop, I imagine I ride a bike to the train station in Paris. Or I drive through the mountains in Colorado. I'm still using the structure I know, but adding new vocabulary from different situations.
That's clever. It's like upgrading your routine without leaving your kitchen.
Exactly, and you can also borrow routines from other people. Watch a video of someone's morning in New York, then try to retell it as if it's yours. It keeps your English fresh and pushes you to learn new words.
I think that's the part that's really hitting me. You're not just learning English, you're living it in your imagination. That's probably why it sticks.
Easy 10. Yeah, because it's not about memorizing a word list. It's about making English part of your story. And when something's part of your story, you don't forget it.
So for anyone listening right now, maybe the real takeaway is stop waiting for the perfect environment. Build your own English world, right where you are.
Absolutely. And remember, the world you build doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Maybe your English time is while you're feeding your cat. Maybe it's when you're jogging. Maybe it's while cooking spaghetti at midnight. The point is, if you live it, you'll learn it.
Okay, Daniel, I have to ask, what's one routine in your life right now that you still use for English practice?
Washing the dishes. I know, not very glamorous. But I use that time to practice describing my day in the past tense. Like, I went to the supermarket this morning. I bought apples and bread. The cashier smiled at me. By the time the dishes are clean, I've reviewed a bunch of sentences.
I love that. And it's a great reminder that English isn't something you find time for. It's something you make time for in the middle of whatever you're already doing.
Exactly. And like Albert Einstein said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. The same is true for English. Keep moving, keep speaking, keep living it.
Daniel, I think we've convinced everyone that their daily routine can be a powerful English tool. But I also know there are listeners thinking, okay, that's nice, but how do I actually start?
Yeah, I get it. It's like when you buy a gym membership but don't know which machine to use first. You need a plan.
Exactly. So let's make this real. Let's take an example. Let's say someone wakes up at 6:30 a.m., makes breakfast, and goes to work or school. How do they turn that into an English learning session?
Okay, step 1. Start small. The first morning, just describe one thing you're doing in English. Like, I'm brushing my teeth, or I'm drinking tea. Say it out loud or in your head. That's it.
So no pressure to do the whole morning routine right away.
No way. If you try to do everything at once, you'll get tired and stop. But if you start with one thing, you build confidence.
All right. Step 2?
Write it down. Keep a little notebook or use your phone. Write 3 to 5 sentences about your morning. For example, I woke up late. I made coffee. It's raining today. This helps you practice writing and also review later.
I can see your point, but don't you think some people will find that boring after a week?
Good question. That's why step 3 is to add variety. Use mirror talk. Stand in front of the mirror and tell your morning story like you're talking to a friend. Add feelings. I'm tired today. The coffee smells amazing. My toast is too dark. Oops. Feel free to laugh at yourself.
That's a nice way to make it fun. And I guess step 4?
Step 4. Connect with other voices. Listen to a short podcast or video about someone's daily routine. Repeat what they say. Even better, mix their story with yours. If they say, I go jogging in the park, and you don't jog, change it to, I walk to the bakery.
I like that. It's like borrowing and customizing at the same time.
Exactly. And step 5, keep a new word jar. Every time you describe your day and find a word you don't know, write it on a small piece of paper. Put it in the jar and learn it later. After a month, open the jar and see how much you've grown.
That's actually genius. It's visual proof of your progress.
Yes. And here's the thing. Your daily routine is already in your life. You don't need extra time. You're just adding English on top of what you already do.
Okay, let's talk about emotional challenges. Because I know some people start strong for a few days, then stop because they feel silly, tired, or too busy.
That's normal. I had mornings when I thought, ugh, not today. But here's my trick. I gave myself tiny wins. Even if I was tired, I described just one thing, like, I'm making coffee. It's better to do a little than to skip completely.
So it's more about consistency than intensity.
Exactly. And remember what Aristotle said. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. If English becomes part of your habit, you don't even think about finding time. It's just there.
I love that. And you know what else? This approach also works for other parts of the day. You can do it while commuting, cooking dinner, or even brushing your cat.
Yes. Actually, one of my students practices English while watering her plants. She says things like, this plant needs more water, or these flowers are beautiful. It's simple, but she's speaking English every day without stress.
That's such a good point. Your routine is personal. Someone else's morning coffee might be your evening tea. The important part is that you're using English in your own life.
Exactly. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can also record your voice once a week. Tell your routine in English and keep the recordings. After a month, you'll hear the difference. Maybe your sentences are longer or your pronunciation is clearer.
Okay, Daniel, before we move on, give us your quick starter kit for anyone listening right now.
Sure. Here's my starter kit. 1. Describe one action in English each morning. 2. Write 3 to 5 sentences about your day. 3. Try mirror talk at least twice a week. 4. Borrow ideas from other people's routines. 5. Keep a new word jar.
Perfect. And remember, you don't need to change your life to learn English. You just need to see your life in English.
Exactly. And the best part? You'll start to notice little improvements without even trying too hard. One day, you'll be making breakfast and think, oh, I just said that in English without even thinking. That's when you know it's working.
You know, sometimes our daily routine just refuses to be normal. Like, you have a plan, but life says, nope, not today. Well, let me tell you about one of those days I had last month.
Oh, here we go. I can already imagine something went wrong with your coffee.
You're not entirely wrong. So, it started like a normal Tuesday. The alarm went off at 6:30 a.m. I said to myself, I'm going to be productive today. You know that fake confidence we have in the morning?
Yeah, like you're the CEO of your own life for about 10 minutes.
Exactly. So I go to the kitchen, still half asleep, and I make my coffee. But here's the thing. I forgot to put the cup under the coffee machine.
Oh no.
Yeah, coffee everywhere. On the counter, on the floor, on my socks. Even my cat was judging me. She was like, "Really, Sophia? This is your life now?"
That's a very Monday on a Tuesday thing.
And I'm there, cleaning the mess, talking to myself in English. Okay, deep breath, Sophia. You can do this. It's just coffee. It's not the end of the world. And you know what? That actually helped me calm down.
So even the disaster became English practice.
Exactly. Anyway, I finally get a fresh cup, grab my bag, and head for the bus. But I forgot my bus card.
Wait, so what did you do?
I had to run back upstairs, get it, and run down again. By the time I reached the bus stop, the bus was leaving. And I just stood there like, seriously?
That's the worst feeling.
Yeah, so I had to wait 15 minutes for the next one. And here's the good part. I used that time to listen to a short English podcast about morning habits. I even repeated some phrases quietly. Well, maybe not so quietly, because this old lady gave me the, "Are you okay?" look.
I love that. Practicing English while strangers think you're talking to yourself.
Totally. Finally, I get on the bus, and I see this guy sitting across from me. He looked so familiar, and then I realized it was my old high school friend Max. We hadn't seen each other in years.
That's so random.
I know, and the funny part, he was also learning English, so we just started talking in English right there on the bus. We were mixing grammar mistakes with laughter, and it didn't matter. We talked about our mornings, and when I told him about my coffee disaster, he nearly dropped his phone laughing.
That's the thing. You can turn any ordinary, even messy moment into a chance to use English.
Exactly. And you remember it better because it's tied to a real funny memory. Now I finally get to work. I think the chaos is over. But then, during a team meeting, I realized I had mismatched socks. One blue, one red.
Oh no, did anyone notice?
Oh, they noticed. And they laughed. And I said, yes, I'm starting a new fashion trend. You know what? That broke the ice, and the meeting actually felt more relaxed.
That's such a good reminder. Sometimes being a little silly makes you more approachable.
Yep, so that was my off-script daily routine. It wasn't perfect, but I spoke English 3 times in unexpected situations, to myself, with a podcast, and with a friend. And I laughed a lot.
And that's the best kind of practice. It sticks because it's fun.
Exactly. So if you're listening right now, here's my challenge. The next time your day goes wrong, and it will, because that's life, try talking through it in English. You'll remember it, you'll laugh later, and you'll get better without even realizing it. All right, before we wrap up today's chat, let's take a quick look at some useful words and idioms from our conversation. You can use these in your own daily routine stories. Ready? Let's go. Vocabulary routine. The usual order of things you do every day. Example 1. My morning routine starts with making coffee. Example 2. Having a bedtime routine helps me sleep better. Commute. The journey between your home and your workplace or school. Example 1. I commute by bus every day. Example 2. Her commute takes about 45 minutes. Oversleep. To sleep longer than you planned. Example 1. I overslept and missed the train. Example 2. If I oversleep, I skip breakfast. Multitask. To do more than one thing at the same time. Example 1. I like to multitask by listening to a podcast while cooking. Example 2. He can't multitask well. He needs to focus on one thing. Embarrassed. Feeling shy or uncomfortable about something you did. Example 1. I felt embarrassed when I forgot his name. Example 2. She was embarrassed after spilling her drink. Interrupt. To stop someone in the middle of what they are doing or saying. Example 1. Please don't interrupt me when I'm talking. Example 2. The meeting was interrupted by a loud noise. Unexpected. Something that happens without warning. Example 1. It was an unexpected visit from my friend. Example 2. We had to change our plans because of unexpected rain. Idioms. A Monday on a Tuesday. When a day feels messy or unlucky like a Monday, even though it's not Monday. Example 1. I dropped my coffee, missed the bus, and got caught in the rain. It was a Monday on a Tuesday. Example 2. Everything went wrong today. It's like having a Monday on a Tuesday. Break the ice. To start talking and make people feel comfortable. Example 1. I told a joke to break the ice with my new classmates. Example 2. We played a fun game to break the ice at the party. Off script. Doing something that wasn't planned. Example 1. The lesson went off script when the fire alarm rang. Example 2. I went off script during my speech and started telling a funny story. Talk through it, saying what you are doing out loud while you do it. Example 1. I talk through it in English when I make breakfast. It helps me learn. Example 2. She talks through it when fixing her bike, so she remembers the steps. Not the end of the world, not as bad as it seems. Example 1. Forgetting your homework is not the end of the world. You can bring it tomorrow. Example 2. Spilling juice on your shirt is not the end of the world. Just change it. Thank you for following along with these fresh and heartfelt words from the English Eve channel, where English meets real life. And remember what we shared earlier. Learning from your real life makes English unforgettable. Let that be your reminder today. The best language lessons are the ones you live, not just the ones you read. If this episode inspired you, please subscribe, share, or comment. We'd love to hear your own stories and routines. Once again, thank you for staying with us until the very end of this episode.